For my first video, I'm going to use some GoPro footage that I shot during my qualifying cross country. Unfortunately, there's no cockpit audio, hence the music. I hadn't quite worked out at the time how to record cockpit audio, although I have now, and there'll be another video about that shortly. And to be honest, when I did my qualifying cross country, I had other things on my mind. The first video then is really a collection of just 3 snippets. The departure from Kemble to Compton Abbas, en route learnings, and landing at Compton Abbas. As I mentioned, this short video is the middle leg of my qualifying cross country, which was Lyon-Solent to Kemble, Kemble to Compton Abbas, and Compton Abbas back to Lyon-Solent. After a lovely cup of tea and a cake at the AV8 restaurant at Kemble, I'm ready for the second leg of the qualifying cross country. Here we go then. Checks all done and cleared to line up and wait 08 via Delta 1. You may have already noticed that I've left the pilot's window hatch open, which is on the checklist, and I missed it. You'll see me fix this on the climb out shortly. You'll see on the climb out from Kemble to my left some interesting aircraft, some of which are probably for the aircraft breakers that's on site at Kemble. So a fairly straightforward departure on a right hand circuit to head off towards Frome and then on to Compton Abbas, which should be about a 35-minute flight. Where I learnt to fly Lyon-Solent, we have gliders operating most of the time, so I'm very aware of the gliders and I'm continually looking out for them and giving them plenty of room, which makes this next bit all the more disappointing for me. When planning the route, I thought I'd allowed more than enough airspace between my track and the park, a glider site near Warminster, but I hadn't. I was expecting to have the park much further to my left when I passed. It was though much closer than I expected. As soon as I realised, I made a track further to the right. Although I didn't use Sky Demon on my qualifying cross country, I did have it recording on the back seat. You can see the screenshot inserted in the video. It wasn't just the fact that I was annoyed with myself for the poor planning, there was more. I always talk to radar wherever I can, and although just a basic service was given, I was alerted by Yeovil radar of a contact 12 o'clock and just above me. I'd not seen a glider ahead of me, and whilst we would have been fine, just a few more miles to the west would have made things much more pleasant. You can see that I'm slightly anxious at this time. At this point, I'm very happy to have the park behind me and now looking forward to landing at Compton Abbas. So on to Compton Abbas then, and now well over halfway on my qualifying cross country, I'm looking forward to another cup of tea. Just a grass-filled landing between me and my cuppa. So whilst I've done a few grass landings during my training and most have been perfectly fine, I've had one landing on grass where my strut had to take over, so that plays a little on my mind, but the further away it gets and the more perfectly good grass landings I do, the more distant the memory is. So here we are on final approach then into Compton. Speed's looking good. Feeling quite comfortable with this. And always aware of this group of trees here that can give a bit of turbulence on the way in. So we have a downhill slope here, so the further I come down, there's still more air to go. There you go, slight bump, but we're down. So just while I taxi to park then, I've inserted a few images from the day. There's my ride for the day, Golf Bravo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo. Compton has a lovely selection of other aircraft as well, so definitely worth a visit. I had some great learnings from my qualifying cross-country flight, and I'm now qualified with an additional few hours to my name. So please come along for the ride as I do more hours and cut my teeth at vlogging and filmmaking. I hope you've enjoyed my first attempt at creating a video for YouTube. It's just a test to see how it all works, and as I mentioned, I've now worked out how to record cockpit audio. So please subscribe to get notified about the next video. Thanks for watching, and happy and safe flying.